All right, so welcome everyone. This is going to be my monthly card class tutorial. If you had requested, this would be, you would have received 4 kits, and this would show you, I'm going to go through of how to put those kits together. If you did not receive a kit, I still have some available, or you can also go online to my website, Dezire to Create Stampin'.net, and what I'm using is I'm using items from the Rustic Harvest suite out of the mini catalog, the July through December catalog. And if you don't have a catalog, I'd be happy to get one to you. But I'm using the items out of the Rustic Harvest suite. So I'm using this stamp set, Hello Harvest. It's become my favorite. I've used it a lot. And then I am using the leaves. And then I am using the papers that came in it. All right. But this suite, when you order it, it is $104.50, and you get all this as long as it's available. Some of it may be out of stock, but it comes with the basic black paper. Then it comes with the embossing tools, which is a paintbrush, tweezers, powder, and then the tray for your embossing powders. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. These are the cards that are in the kit. We're going to be creating this one. This will be the first one. We're going to start with this one first. Here is the second one. Okay. Then we have the third one. And then we're going to have, this will be the fourth one. I saved this one's got a little bit more stuff. The leaves will be different on the one that we're going to create, but that's the fourth one, and I didn't get that in there. So we're going to go ahead and get started on the first one. So in your kit, you would have gotten 2 pieces of blank white paper, this blank piece of white, 3 vines. These are garden green color. And then you would have received your card base, and I would have cut in the 1 inch off the side here. And then these are the pieces of DSP you would have received. All right. So what I went ahead and I stamped the pumpkin, because I like to get my stamping done first so that things can, you know, set up. I am going to go ahead and stamp the Thanks a Bunch. And the Thanks a Bunch comes from the Celebrate Sunflowers. This is another one of my favorite stamp and die sets. I love sunflowers. Sunflowers and fall and butterflies. Those are probably my top 3 things that I love the most. So I'm just going to dab the Thanks a Bunch in our Memento ink. And then I'm going to stamp it over to the edge. I want it to go over as far as it can. Okay? Because we're going to cut that other end off later. So, and then I'm going to try, and I have this thing about when I stamp white on white, I struggle with seeing behind it. So, I'm going to take my card stamp, and you can see I already almost started. So, we're going to kind of center that up. All right. And there we go. And if I didn't like it, I can turn it over and use the other side. But I think that will work. All right. So I'm going to close up that ink for the moment. I'm going to go ahead and wipe my stamp off. I always use a chamois for mine. Keep it wet, and then I just kind of wipe it down. All right. Okay, so while that's drying, I'm going to go ahead and do my pumpkin. And on my pumpkin, I used the Pumpkin Pie Stampin' Blends. So I have the light and the dark. And what I did is I went ahead and where there is, I just took the dark and kind of went over the lines. Okay, down that pumpkin like that. That's what I kind of did. And you can do however you want, if you want to just do them, or if you just want to just go straight down. I just kind of I was going to do this video on YouTube, but I found out because I don't have the software and everything, I can't go live yet. So, still working out all the kinks. Still learning all this. Alright, now I'm going to take the light and I'm just going to kind of blend and color that. I could use the other end, which has the, for these bigger spots, it has this, they call the, I forget what the tip is, but one like pin tipped and one with more like a feathered marker. That's what I think of. I just carefully, all right, and we're just gonna now, for those of you that receive the kit, Stampin' Up! Has rules where we can't stamp images. So you would have to buy it to have the pumpkin. So, now if I wanted to, I could come back in with some more dark and just kind of, you know, it doesn't have to be perfect because once it starts drying, it'll just kind of blend itself out. But anyways, they have rules where we can't send stamped images out when you pay for something. Because the kit, you get 4 cards for $20. So you would have to purchase it. And then stamp the images yourself. And then again, I don't know, I want that to be a little bit darker. Play with that. All right, now for my stem, I took garden green, and then I took and put a little bit of it on a acrylic block. Or no, it's not garden green, it's granny apple green. And then I used our paint brushes. Well, they are called water painters. They come in a set of 3, and you fill them with water, and then I just put a little bit of water. You squeeze it, a little water falls out. And then, I don't want to get too much, but I just took and colored the stem part with that green. And you can add more if you want it darker. All right, and that's how I did the stump. Okay, got a little water on there, and then I will just take that ink and wipe it off on my paper towel. All right. Okay, so now I gotta grab my scissors. I'm going to, I could die cut this out, but since some of you may not have the dies and you may just have the stamps, I just wanted to show you how easy it is just to fussy cut it. stump's still drying a little bit, so it's still a little wet, so you want to be careful and not rip that paper. And there we have our pumpkin. All right. All right, so we're going to start putting this together. So we are going to go ahead and we're going to glue these pieces on. And I'm just going to use some liquid glue and just kind of run it down, maybe make sure the sides have it. All right. And so what we've done is I cut that 1 inch off, and I forgot to put my white piece to go inside in mine, but everybody in their kit should have that white piece. So anyways, I just kind of there should be a little bit of, it's Mossy Meadow. Yes, Mossy Meadow cardstock. And it's an A2 card, and then you just cut that inch off. And then you put that on that side. And then it's the same. And what I did is I cut 1 piece of DSP. I cut it at 5 3/8 and 4 1/8. And then I cut it 1 inch off. And then, pretty sure, hang on, I'm going to measure that in a moment. And then we're going to put this, get over here to make sure, we're going to put this here. All right, and that's what it's going to look like, okay? But I'm pretty sure that's what I did, was cut it, yeah, I'm pretty, 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. So, and then I just cut that inch, and then I put that inch on the inside. Then you should have a piece of white cardstock that will go right in here. And actually, nope, that one's glued down. So this is what it should look like, okay? Then we are going to go ahead and we're going to glue, that you should have this white piece, and this is Cajun Craze. And you're going to glue this white piece on top of the Cajun Craze. And if you're out there, please say hello. All right. Okay, we're going to glue that on. Then we're going to glue the pumpkin on. We're just going to kind of put that in the middle of that. All right. And then I'm going to go ahead and put this on before I put my vines on. So we're just going to kind of put that there. I'm going to put that there in the middle. All right. Okay. All right. So there we are so far. Then on my vines, I'm just going to kind of dab some glue in a couple of different spots. This glue can get a little sticky, and I really don't want to get it all over the place. Uh-oh. I just lost it. Uh-oh. So, I can't find it. That's okay. Oh, there it is. Problem is, it might have a little bit of dust on it. Before. Okay, so this is where my tweezers would come in. Because I could hang on to it a little bit better. All right. So those tweezers that came in the kit are perfect for this. So then I just decide where I want this one to go. And the thing is, since I already glued this down, we're just going to kind of put that there. On this card, I kind of had them tucked in a little bit, but that's all right. Then we'll do this one. And like I said, you can do it however you want. And then, not to forget to let the tweezers go, because these are, all right. And then this last one is the kind of the longer one. And I do believe I kind of stuck it like that. All right. Like I said, that glue gets a little sticky. So, all right. Now, we're going to take our Thanks a Bunch and we're going to kind of put it down here. How about how we want it? And we're going to put some dimensionals, and these are left over from a paper pumpkin I had. So I'm just going to put some on there like this. And then, actually, I put one too far, because we don't want one the way we have, well, the way I have it. See, we just kind of want it right there. So I was getting a little excited. All right, so that should work. We're going to take those off. Put that out there like that. All right, and then we're just going to turn our card over and cut it off. And there's your first one, all done. All right. Kind of crooked. See if I can trim that up. Yeah, I think I made it more crooked. I'm being very picky. Okay. Well, it'll work. I'll fix it later. All right, so there's our first card. Okay. All right, number 2. Here is number 2. Now, what I did first is the piece here is crumb cake, and I took from the Celebrate Sunflower, and I stamped like right on the corner, and I don't know, and I did it with Early Espresso ink. Okay, I'm just putting some ink on it. Don't have to ink up the whole thing because I'm not going to use I'm not going to you know, have the whole side there. So just trying to find a scrap piece of paper so I don't get it on this. So what we'll do is, so just, it doesn't have to be the whole thing. I mean, you can just, you decide how you want it. I just stamp the corner. Oops. Okay, so here's the thing. You can flip it over. Oops, I got too much. I'm getting a little ink happy there. All right. So, and this is where I should have pulled out my Stamparatus, but I have it set up for another card, and or actually for this card, and I didn't even think about it when I was putting all this. So I'm just gonna well, it kind of missed up in the corner, but it'll be all right. Okay, at least this side it looked cut off. So, but it missed just a little. It'll be all right. It'll still work. The only person who's gonna know is you. All right, so again, I like to wipe my stamps off as soon as I get done using them. All right, so I'll set that over there for now. Okay, then next, I will put this on my card base. This needs to go on the back of this. I know, later. All right, so I'm gonna get my glue. Just gonna put that on there. And this is just basic white cardstock. And then I'm going to put, just kind of center that in the middle. Oop, I'm off, and so I'm glad I'm using liquid glue. It's off a little bit, but it'll be all right. Okay. Then next, I'm going to set that off to the side. Set these pieces. All right. We're going to go ahead and put this DSP on there. And you can just bring it up maybe 1/4 of an inch from the bottom. It will cover the sunflower just a little bit. All right, so we got that glued on. All right, so I'm going to set that to the side for the moment. And then out of your Hello Harvest is this cute little stamp right here. Okay, little squiggly stamp. I'm going to put that on the block, and then you'll notice that I used Cajun Craze to kind of make this on this leaf, all right? So, and what I did is I just kind of started here, and then here, and then just kind of went around on each leaf and did that around the edges of the leaf, sorry. And then I kind of just in the middle, just kind of fill in the spaces a little bit, you know. Doesn't have to be perfect because some of it's going to be covered up anyway. All right, so while that's drying a moment, I clean that off. I'm going to go ahead and put that one back because I'm going to need that stamp block in a little bit. Then on the pumpkin, you should have a piece of white that measures 2.5 by 2.5, and we're going to stamp our pumpkin. And again, excuse me, since I don't like, and I'm going to do this with Memento ink, and I'm going to ink up my pumpkin with Memento ink. Okay, and then I'm just going to try to do my best to stamp that in the middle of that. All right, and then I'm going to use my water painter brush to color this. So, and I'm using Mary Merlot and Granny Apple Green to do this. So, with the Merry Merlot, again, I'm going to take that small stamp block and just put some ink on it, like that. And then get my water painter brush. Squeeze a little bit on there. Try not to get too, and then I want my piece of paper. So, all right. So, kind of got a hot mess going on here. So then I'm just going to go around and just, you know, try to paint the pumpkin with the Merry Merlot. I love to watercolor, and I love to ink blend. I find them both relaxing. So you'll see that there's a little bit darker spots, but that's okay. You can come back and kind of, probably need to squeeze out a little more water. I think my brush was getting a little bit dry there. It doesn't have to be perfect, because a lot of times it's going to dry and then it's going to blend itself kind of out. And some of this is going to be covered up anyway on the card. See how it, so it's kind of just a background piece. Go back over some of these lighter spots. Again, it's not really a big deal because like that side's going to be covered up. All right. And again, it will dry. I'm going to get as much of the Merry Merlot off there as possible, because I'm going to turn around and I'm going to use this with the Granny Apple Green. Alright, so I'm going to wipe that off. And then I'm going to get a little bit of the Granny Apple Green. And I kind of got in a hurry since I'm doing the video. So it kind of looks a little sloppy, but I'm hoping it'll work itself out. But alright, again, a little water. And we're just going to paint that. We're just going to watercolor that stump. Alright. That one's done. I'm going to sit that one off for a minute and let it dry, and then I will be cutting that out. I will be fussy cutting that. So, all right. So, while that is getting done, our leaf is now dry. So we are going to go ahead and we are going to put it on our card. So, and before we do that, you should have gotten a piece of string in your kit. And we are going to fold it and then put it in that hole at the top of your leaf. It's a piece of white twine. and you're going to pull that through. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and glue it down before I cut off the excess. So just kind of, you know, put some glue. There we go. All right, now I'll cut off the excess. You can do as much as you want. You can leave as much, you know, it's up to you. All right, so there's our leaf. And then I'm going to go ahead and put our pumpkin here together. So we're going to put a little bit of ink, and this is garden green for the stump and pumpkin pie for the cardstock. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on the back of this big piece. All right. Might want to bring it up just a little bit. And then I'm going to put some, I might have said ink, some glue on the back of this smaller pumpkin pie piece. And then I'm going to just kind of center that up in the middle of that big pumpkin. All right. And so that's what that looks like so far. We're going to sit that there. And I'm going to go ahead and cut out my fussy cut out my pumpkin. It's still a little bit on the wet side, so I probably should have done this first thing. That way it would have had plenty of time to dry. But, so there's that. And then I'm going to go ahead and put some glue on this. And just kind of, here's the, and then I just kind of want to put that probably right about there. Okay. And then I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back of my pumpkin. All right. Get my take your pick tool. I'm going to pull those off. And we're going to put that on. Okay, about like that. All right, now in your kit, you would have got a banner that looks like this. All right, and so if you had the stamp set and you have your Stampin' Up, your Stamparatus, I learned this technique from Christine Bertram, where if you have your Stamparatus and you're getting a kit and we send you the cutout, but since we can't, because of Stampin' Up's rules, we cannot send you a stamped image. So what she does is she will cut out she would use a die cut to cut out the shape. All right. Then last night what I did is I practiced and I went ahead and stamped, just lightly stamped where that should go, and then I lined the shape up with that. So you can take this piece and you can put it in there, and I stamped it with Mary Merlot. All right. Get this out of the way. And so, and then that's there. And then I just stamped on top of that image or that shape. Okay. Kind of want to rub it. And the nice thing about the Stamparatus is if you don't get it right the first time, you can always come back. All right? All right, then you can just pop that out and see how that worked? All right, now I'll wipe that off because I don't want to. Sorry, my husband was asking me if the dogs went out. Probably need to. I need to put. I like to take my my chamois and throw it in the top of my dishwasher when it really needs to be cleaned, and it gets really good. I mean, it may not get it perfect, but it does get it clean. So, all right. So then we're going to put some dimensionals on that. There's my tool. My your pick tool. And then we are going to take that and we will put it right here. I believe is how I did it. All right. And there's your second card. And I think I kind of put the leaf down, but you know, you can do it however you want. You don't have to do it exactly how I did. But I think it turned out pretty good. All right. Card number 2 is done. All right. Card number 3. And this one's going to go pretty quick. Because it was just one I threw together last minute. So in your kit, you should have a piece of crumb cake. You would have had another banner. You would have had your A2 size crushed curry. I think I went ahead and cut these pieces. I cannot remember. And then you're going to have the piece, this piece is going to go on the inside, and then your DSP. All right. So what we're going to start with, this piece is, I think it's, yeah, 1 1/4 by 1 1/4. And let me cut this piece really quick. So you may have got 2 whole pieces that you would have to cut, or 4 pieces that were already cut. Just depends. I was trying to get things done quickly. All right, for this, I use the flower, the little flower out of the Hello Harvest. And then what I did is I used Mary Merlot. And just stamp that flower right in the middle. Okay. Close that up. Cajun Craze. I'm going to kind of clean my stamp off just a little bit. So Cajun Craze. Stamp that flower right in the middle on the next one. Okay. Early Espresso. Yep. Early Espresso. Espresso. Get the ink off that. Again, stamp right in the middle. Now that one's kind of off. We're gonna okay. And then my last color I used was crushed curry. Okay. All right. Now we're gonna let those dry a minute. And while that's drying, we're gonna go ahead and put our piece on the outside. So I'm just gonna use some liquid glue. I've got to where I use liquid glue a lot more than my tape runner anymore, because I just really want them to stick. I want them to stay, my pieces, especially if they're going to go through the mail. So, all right. So on this, it's going to go from top to bottom, and there should just be like 1/8 of an inch on each side. All right. So I'm going to kind of open that up so we can make sure. Okay. Then I'm going to go ahead and put my piece on the inside. And I believe this should be like, let me put it in there. I think I cut that to be um, 5 3/8 by 4 1/8 on the inside. Now what you could do is you could take your little flower stamp and maybe put a, stamp it on the inside. I'll show you what I mean. Just kind of give it that extra little touch. So this is crushed curry. And you could just kind of do that. See? So kind of just give it that little extra special touch. You could also do something on the outside of your envelopes. You could, decorate your envelopes. Tonight I go to another Stampin' Up! Demonstrator's house one Friday a month. And when I go and we do cards, and I try to sometimes decorate the envelopes when I go. All right, so you're just going to take those flowers and you're going to kind of try to make it, like I've done here. And then you're just going to glue those down. Kind of try to make them look, I'm just going to go ahead and put glue on all of them. Might get a little tacky, but it'll work. This glue kind of gets tacky. That way I don't have to keep opening it. All right. I'm going to try to get them all facing the same, the flowers kind of facing the same direction. Whoop. Maybe not. Yeah. And then my last one. All right. Okay. Trying to get them to look somewhat even. They seem a little bit off, but it'll be all right. Then we're going to glue this piece in the middle. Okay. And then again, you would have gotten one of these banner cutouts, and you could have do the same thing like I showed you. But since I went ahead and created this one, we're going to put some dimensionals on this one. And then we are going to put that in the middle of that. And that is that card. Oh, can't get that piece to come off. All right. And we're just going to kind of line that up. And there you go. There's your third card. All right. All right, last card. So how I colored this, and I probably, I'm not going to go through it all. I was trying not to make this go more than an hour, so we'll see. So in your kit, you would have an A2 size card in crushed curry. Put this back in. You should have had a piece of white cardstock. I forgot to put it in this one. This is my kit that you would put on the inside. You would have had this DSP. And that's going to go here. And we'll do that in a minute. Then you would have gotten a piece of Blackberry Bliss cardstock that is been embossed with this embossing folder. This is, oh my goodness, I can't even remember what it's called. Let me see if I can find it real quick. This is one of the reasons, the painted texture. This is one of the reasons I started up with Stampin' Up! Was one paper pumpkin, this embossing folder. I love this one. I use it all the time. But your piece, you're going to have to go around and you're going to have to rip your edges because I don't think I ripped it for you. So you would rip the edges and then that is going to go on there like that. All right. Then you should have gotten so I'm going to go ahead and put that down. I'm actually going to stamp my pumpkin real quick. So you would have got a crumb cake pumpkin, and you would have done this. You could do the same thing with the Stamparatus. You could cut out a shape. I am going to attempt to stamp it without putting in the Stamparatus. So let's see what's going to happen here. Make sure my stamp gets inked up. And then I'm going to try to line it up the best I can with my cutout. Let's see how off I get. Not bad. A little. This is why I usually stamp then cut, or do like I showed you with the Stamparatus. But I was going to try to show you that you can do it. So what I would do now is, since I kind of was off, I'm going to just go ahead and trim around here, around this edge. I got something on my... I'm not going to worry about the stump because the stump's going to get covered up by the flowers that I have. So, all right, so there's that. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and glue this piece on. First, this DSP. We're just going to put this on the edge. Now, the first thing I should have done is make sure that my card was going the right direction, okay? You always want to make sure your card's going the right direction before you put things down. The other thing I should have done is, because you got some string, and I should have put my string on that piece of paper first. And I gave you enough string that what you should have been able to do, and I learned this from Christina Bertram too, is you put a little glue on the side of that, and then you would just, you know, put some tape runner. Just put a little tape runner. You'd put this here. You'd go down. You'd put a little tape runner here. Then you would wrap it back around. And you know what? I think what I'll do is I'm going to show you. So, tape runner. And then I'll cover this up with something. All right. So, like that. Okay. Run it down. Little tape run here. And then I would also take some two-sided tape. Stampin' Up's two-sided tape. this, and I'll show you that again here in a minute. And then come back up, try to, darn it, should have probably, sure. And then it helps me save on string. And then I'm going to go ahead and take the 2-sided tape, and I'm just going to rip a little bit off, and I'm going to cover that up. And then you come back up, and then you can put that down, and you take this, and you put that over that. All right, and like I said, I'll cover this up with something later. All right, so there's your string. And what I should have done is I should have done that before putting this on, but I wasn't thinking. So I got, all right, so now after you've ripped around the edges, ripped it to make it, you know, give it that vintage, to me it's like vintage old look. I'm going to put some, it doesn't matter which side you put down. And then I'm just going to glue that down like that. Okay. All right. Next, I was trying to make it easy for those that may not own the stamp set or the die, and I just cut out 4 leaves in different colors. We have Crushed Curry, Cajun Craze, Mary Merlot, and Early Espresso. And then I just kind of turned my leaves different directions. So I'll go ahead and glue those. This one's going to go that way. I'm going to set my pumpkin on that. All right. So there are my leaves. Okay. All right, so there's the leaves. Then you're going to have this piece of white cardstock, and you're going to take your "You Are Such a Blessing" stamp, or any sentiment you might have. If you don't have this stamp set, you could use any sentiment you have. And then we're just going to kind of stamp that in the middle best you can. And then next, and I used Early Espresso ink. All right, and then we're going to use dimensionals on our pumpkin. And we are going to, and I kind of put them off to the side, so because they're going to go on top of the string. And on this one, I did it at the top. And then after I did it, I was like, you know what? I would rather that be on the bottom. So this time, I'm going to move it to the bottom of the card. I think it just looks better there. Now, next, I gave you a floral arrangement cutout. Again, it's not stamped, but you could do the same thing with the Stamparatus again, okay? And then what I did is I watercolored it. I did with my water pen. I'm not going to go ahead and show you how I did it. I did use the Crushed Curry. I used the Granny Apple Green for my leaves. And then for some of the leaves, I think I used Crumb Cake. And then I used Mary Merlot for my flowers and these little bunches here. And then the brown in the middle, I use the early espresso, and I use my water pen for those. So I'm not going to go do it now because, you know, like I said, I didn't want this to go over an hour. So what I do have one that I already stamped and cut out, and I will make it later. And so that would go on top of that. I would glue it on, and then I would put a little bit dimensional behind them. Now I'm going to take my sentiment and I'm going to cut it out. That's what I did here, is I went around and I cut it. Kind of cut it like this. You don't have to. You could leave it like what you know, whether it was stamped. I just wanted to give it a different look. So I kind of just all right. And then again, what I did is I put a dimensional on each side of this. Let's see if these are going to be, nope, this one might be. Okay, nope. And then we'll take those off. And then I'm just going to put that right there at the top. And then again, if you had that piece, I know I put it in everybody's, you should have the piece that will go in here. And I'm going to fix this by putting something. I'll probably put a piece of DSP there or something just to make it look, cover it up and just, you know, give it an extra special touch. All right. And there is card number 4. So if you have any questions, please reach out to me. If you need to order it, please use the Desire to Create StampinUp.net website. And you please use this host code when ordering. Again, if you have any questions, let me know. I will be getting the next kit ready for next month. It's going to be a little, I'm using the Wreaths bundle. I can't remember what the name of it is, but again, and if you need a catalog or anything, please let me know. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.